It couldn't have come at a better time, the virus. You know when you hate someone and wish they were dead? I don't mean upset with them, I mean wanting their corpse on a slab. That's how I felt about Ma. And COVID-19 was the ideal weapon. Not so long ago, she was my hero. Imagine having a mother who saved your life when you were little, wrenched you from the front seat before the car plunged to the depths of the loch, swam you ashore half dead, pumped your lungs till you woke up spluttering, and then hugged you closer than ever before. Imagine she risked her life for you, forced to choose between you and your Pa, who sank to the bottom and drowned. It took me years to get over the grief, the guilt. I missed him passionately. But growing up, I concluded she'd had no option. While she was taking her turn driving, Pa was asleep on the back seat. She couldn't have rescued us both. So I understood. Besides, she was Wonder Woman. In my teens, I pored over the cuttings. Brave mum saves car crash daughter. She took me to the loch, said she'd swerved to avoid a deer and crashed through the flimsy barrier. Personally, I couldn't recall the deer, but I always believed it existed. As an adult, I forged my own path in life. But whenever I lost my job or got divorced, Ma would be there for me, and I clung to her, just as I had under the loch. That's why I'm still living with her. Oh, pathetic, I know, but her health isn't good. She used to be a champion swimmer. Since then, she's neglected herself, grown overweight, wheezy. Her lungs aren't what they used to be. Then this Welshman called Dave messages me on Facebook saying he's my long-lost brother. What? I'm an only child, for Christ's sake. It's a shock when we meet, because he's the spitting image of Pa. I get all emotional. How come I didn't know? Turns out Pa was team bonding in Snowdonia, and Dave's mother was the hotel waitress. You couldn't make it up. Quick bonk in a hotel bedroom, then 9 months later, out pops Dave. I never stayed in touch. Too risky, with Pa being married. I asked Dave his date of birth. Strangely, it's 9 months after Pa drowns. I'm confused. Is Ma hiding something? The virus hits the UK, but I barely notice. Every day I turn over the problem like a Rubik's Cube. I can't get the colours lined up. Until finally I realise. One of Pa's teammates spills the beans. Suddenly it all clicks into place. How when they dredged up the car, the back doors were locked. How they found a container of sleeping pills. No actual proof, but the mystery is solved. And there's only one word for it. Murder. I struggle to control myself, weeping tears of rage, mourning my beloved Pa. As Britain goes into lockdown, I watch Ma like a hawk, ask her probing questions. I can sense her guilt, invisible, like the virus, but always there, incubating. I've signed up to volunteer, I tell her one day, to help those poor NHS staff. Are you sure? She says. Positive. About time I did my bit. Don't get me wrong. The last thing I want is to infect the innocent. I avoid the healthy like the plague. Touch only those who are already sick. Once in their homes, my mask comes off, not to mention my gloves. I caress every used tissue, secretly lick their plates after lunch. Then every night I brush up against Ma, or sneeze in her general direction. She doesn't notice. Sure enough, we both succumb. My symptoms are mild, a persistent cough, then it's all over. But she spirals quickly downwards, like the car in the loch. Within days, she's on a trolley, waiting for a ventilator that never comes. Finally, those lungs conk out, and she's another statistic. A corpse I'm not allowed to visit. But I don't need to. I've got my revenge. And she thought her crime was perfect.